Hello students, today we are going to study an essay, Machines and Emotions, written by Bertrand Russell. Bertrand Russell was a great writer of the 20th century. He was born on 18th May 1872. He passed away on 2nd February 1970. He was Nobel Prize winner for literature. He was a British philosopher, logician, mathematician, historian, writer, social critic, and thinker. He published two books. The first book is The Principles of Mathematics that came into 1903. The second book, Principia Mathematics, that was published in 1909. The present essay is very important essay, very interesting essay. There are two issues. One is machines and second is emotions. There are two portions, different portions. Whether the machines are useful for emotions or emotions are useful for machines. The question arises, does machinery increase happiness? Now, why does Russell state that machines have altered our way of life but not our basic instinct? Russell pointed out that the machines have changed our way of life, have changed each and everything in our life because we have become habitual of machines. But what may be, machines fail to change our basic instinct. Machines cannot change our feelings. The essay begins with a question, will machines destroy emotions or emotions destroy machines? That was stated by Samuel Butler in a novel Everyone, but we see it is growing tendency. It is that the use of machinery is increasing day by day. We can say that the empire of machines is increased, is enlarged. Generally, we see that there is no opposition between machines and emotions. It is human nature and it is natural that children have love for machines. Even the nations with artistic excellence like Japanese were captivated by Western mechanical method when they started to imitate quickly as possible as they came into contact. The writer wants to say that the Asian people, the Japanese, are known for their artistic excellence, but when they came into contact with the Western machines, they became habitual of that machine. They were captivated by the use of machine. We can say they started to take the use of machines. Generally, we see that a person would prefer use of automobiles as a boy likes automated toy instead of a doll. It is human nature that we like an item that runs, that goes instead of a static thing. The 19th century considered itself superior to its predecessors chiefly because that there is use of mechanical progress. But writer says when the machineries were introduced in the beginning of the 19th century, there were certain people who opposed the use of machinery. Peacock, a great novelist, made the fun of the esteemed intellect society. Uh, he argued that the use of machinery would destroy the beauty of nature. On the other hand, there were Rousseau's disciples. They also opposed the use of machinery. There were certain late poets like Wordsworth, Coleridge, Charles Lamb. They also oppose the use of machines. They say that they would use they would spoil the beauty of the nature. William Morris, with his news from nowhere, also criticized the use of machinery, and they all represents a purely sentimental and essentially reactionary opposition to machines. Samuel Butler was the first man to apprehend intellectually the non-sentimental case against machines. They means these people did not appreciate the use of machines. But writer says I quote, machines are worshipped because they are beautiful and valued, because they confer power. They are hated because they are hideous, and lost because they impose slavery. Unquote. Try to understand this quotation. Definitely, we worship machine, we like machine because they look beautiful, and they are valued for the sake of their power, because these machines give us power, spontaneity, and so many things. But at the same time, the use of machinery is hated because they look hideous and they impose slavery. Use of machinery make a man slave. Means the writer perhaps wants to say that the use of machinery is dangerous to human mind, to human emotions. With the use of machines, people are happier than their great grandfathers. Than their grandfathers, that the people, when they use machine, they feel happy. They think that they are happier because they use machine. There are so many chances in their life. It is also assumed that the possession of material commodity is what makes man happy. Generally, when we have one house, we become happy. When we have a vehicle, we become more happy. Sometimes we have something, another thing, we become happier. And it is human nature. And it is said that the happiness is proportional to income. If our income is increased, definitely we become happy. When our income is reduced, we become less happy. The writer wants to say the proportion of happiness depends on the increase of the money. But there are so many people who challenge this idea. They challenge that in the name of religion and morality, that the people of religion do not like money, do not like wealth. But writer wants to say that even the saints are happy when their income is increased, and they feel happy because the income is increased. The writer says, I quote, "Men have physical need and they have emotion." Unquote. Two things are there. On the one hand, men have certain basic needs, physical needs, just eating, drinking, vehicle, clothes. So many things are there. We need for personal life. At the same time, we have emotions. A man cannot be without emotions. A man cannot be without feelings. Sometimes man is governed by feelings. Man is governed by emotions, and physical needs are not important. The question arises, when physical needs are satisfied, the question of emotions become more important. First, we fill our belly, then we think about our emotions and our feelings. The question arises as why we desire to increase our income. It is the human nature that we want to increase our income. We want to look better. We want to look happier. It is human nature that when we have one house, we think that there should be two houses. When we have our child go to school, then we think that our child should go to the better school. It is the human nature that we want to increase our income for this purpose, for that purpose. We can say that it is our desire that we want to be admired and respected. Generally, we think if you have more money, definitely we would be respected and admired by the people of the society. It is the human nature. But the actual goods purchased by their money play quite a secondary part. A millionaire who cannot tell one picture from another, but he could not appreciate, but has acquired a gallery of the old master by the help of the expert. The only pleasure he derives from his picture is that the idea that others know how much they have cost. You derive more direct enjoyment from sentiments chromas out of Christmas number, but you not obtain the same satisfaction for his vanity, for his pride. The question arises why the level of satisfaction differs from person to person and society to society. Yes, the people who belong to the aristocratic society, they men are admired for their social birth, that they belong to the high society, they belong to the high family. In the same manner, in Paris, those people are admired for their artistic excellence. In Germany universities, people are admired for their learning, for their knowledge. That's why we can say that in different societies, different people admire and respected for their different things. The study of these different societies show that people are indifferent to money as long as they have enough to keep alive on. Means until the people have enough means to live, they are not bothered about money. They they have different interests, they have different ideas. It is clear that the modern desire for wealth is not inherent in human nature. It could be destroyed by different social institutions. Yes, this desire for money is not natural. We do not drive this habit from our birth, but it is the technique of society in which we live. Writer further says, machines deprive us of spontaneity and variety. The great trouble with machine is its irregularity. Means all the time it works regularly without any stop. On the other sense, we can say the emotions have with irregularity. Emotions cannot be controlled by machines. Emotions are free. Feelings are free. And further writer described the dangers of machine. What are the dangers of the machines? The greater ferocity of war is attributed to machines. In the present age, we see that the use of machinery have given so many dangers to the society, to the civilization. It enables large armies, cheap presses, and on the other hand, the use of machinery destroy human nature. The machines fail to understand the human nature. It does not mean that the machines may be abolished. No, it is reactionary. That when people say that when machines fail to fulfill human nature, fulfill our emotions, fail to understand our feelings, it does not mean that machines can be destroyed, can be abolished. We can break this monotony by machines or by giving other adventurous work as climbing of mountains. Yes, monotony of the machines can be broken by giving another adventurous work as climbing of the mountains or other works. The writer declares, we can say the writer concludes, I quote, machines have altered our way of life, but not our basic instinct, unquote. Yes, it is seen that our life begins with machines. When we get up in the early morning, we want watch. When we go to bathroom, we want geyser, we want light. When we go to office, we need automobile. And in the modern age, we need mobile and so many things. Means we have the use of machinery have completely changed our living standard, our way of life. We can say that machines have changed our life. But what may be, the science might have progressed so much, but science could not change our basic instinct, our basic feelings, but our basic emotions. Generally, that the it is said that the moral self-control, external provision of harmful acts are not adequate methods of dealing with our instinct, our feelings. People say that the feelings can be controlled on the basis of self-control or external provision, but writer does not approve this idea. He suggests that it is necessary to understand the human nature. uh, to understand human nature must be the basis of the real improvement in human life. Okay, science has improved the human life physically. Science has provided so many benefits to the human life, but writer is unhappy to say that science failed to understand the human nature, the human feeling, the human emotions. That's why he says understanding of human nature must be the basis of any real improvement in human life. Science must try to understand the human nature. Science has done wonders in mastering the laws of physical science of physical world. but our own nature is much less understood by science. Science failed to understand our nature, the human nature. That is why writers suggest that science must try to understand the human nature. When science learns to understand human nature, it will be able to bring happiness into our lives, which machines and the physical science have failed to create. The writers suggest, very important way, the writers suggest that machines and emotions are not two different things. Okay. That machines are helpful. Science is helpful, but machine is science. Science is helpful in improving our standard of life. And at the same time, the writer is of the view that science must try to understand the human nature. Science must try to understand the human feelings. That's why the human life can be improved. Uh, now there are so many questions which I suggest you for the sake of the examination. The quotation is that the quotation of Russell is very important. The machines have altered our way of life, but not our basic instinct. Explain. This is the most important question that might appear in the examination. There are other short questions which I suggest. First question: machines are worshipped as well as hated. Question: why? That the We can say another question maybe like that. The modern desire for wealth is not inherent in human nature. Explain. Yes, there will be so many questions, but these are the most important questions that might appear in the examination. Thanks.